Hello and welcome to Yoga Basics. I'm Patty, I'll be your instructor today. Let's go ahead and start by finding a seated position, either on some blankets on the floor or on a yoga block if you have one, or you could sit on a chair that has a flat seat to it with your feet planted firmly on the floor in front of you. Either way is great, and once you find your position, find your breath. You'll find your breath first outside of your nose, and then you might feel it in your throat, and then just notice the rhythm and the flow of your inhales and the length and the texture of your exhale. And then transition the point of origin of your breath from outside of your nose to down in your belly. And even though we don't really breathe with the belly, it feels like we are when we do a diaphragmatic breathing, where the diaphragm drops so that you can fill the inhale and you just keep inhaling and keep inhaling. And then at the exhale of this breath, diaphragm pulls back in and up to facilitate the thoroughness of that exhale. So let's try this for just another moment, seemingly filling the low belly on the inhale, letting the breath rise up the three major curves of your back, and then letting the breath slide back down, drawing literally the belly in, up and back for the exhale. Again, filling the low belly, seemingly letting the breath rise up your spine. And then let the breath slide back down, literally drawing your belly in, up and back. And one more. Low belly, mid and side chest, upper chest and back. And then exhale the breath back down, drawing the belly back. Excellent, that's 3. All right, now sit for a moment and observe your breath in its natural rhythm and flow. Has it changed at all? Can you notice if it's changed at all? Don't make any judgment calls about your breath. Don't wish it was one way or wonder why it's not another. Just accept what is, relishing the life-giving inhale part of the breath and savoring that life-saving exhale part of your breath. All right, I'll invite you now to bring your hands to your heart in the prayer position, what's called the Anjali Mudra in Sanskrit, allowing your palms, thumbs, and fingers to gently press together while simultaneously pulling your shoulders away from each other. You'll feel your heart lift and open. And as you feel your heart lift and open, take a moment and set an intention for yourself. Claim for yourself what it is that you want. Physically, such as radiant good health. Mentally, such as wisdom, humor. Emotionally, you can claim contentment and joy. And spiritually, you can claim connection and guidance. And so it is. Inhale big. And then a big sigh out. Bringing the hands down, blinking your eyes open, and joining us today is Jessie. So good morning. Go ahead and come on up to standing from here. Careful of the blankets that you were sitting on. Blankets slide, so never stand on a blanket. Never trust a blanket. So once we come to the mat, we're going to come to Tadasana. Tadasana being your primary standing posture. Now we want to put the joints of the body in neutral and ready. So we're going to start at the feet. You want to find the middle of your feet, and you can find it easiest by finding those 2 middle toes. And let, as if you were standing on a clock face on each foot, let those 2 middle toes aim at noon. Yes. For most of us, our feet are shaped like flippers. They're wider at the front than the back. It means our Tadasana has the toes in just a little. And it might feel like you're standing like this, but really it's just the proprioception of the body relearning what straight is. So once you find the middle of the feet, find 3 points on each foot. Press at the base of the big toe, the base of the pinky toe, not the toes themselves. Let your toes stay light. Then press the middle of your heel, feeling your arches engage. Once you feel the arches engaged, you can lay the toes down if they'd been lifted, but keep the arches engaged. Now we're going to transition out of diaphragmatic breathing into structural breathing. With this, you're going to find your low belly and draw it in. As you draw the low belly in, find your hips, the heads of your femur bones, and let those pull away from each other. One way to find this is to clench your buttocks and tell yourself this is a no, then release the buttocks and continue releasing the buttocks until you can feel the transverse abdominis engage a little more. You can feel the heads of the femur bones engaging away, and you may or may not feel the sacral muscles or the pelvic floor muscles, but they're lifting and engaging as well too. This is very important for the rest of our standing in today's session. Please remember to keep the low belly drawn in, and this will support the low back. So that's our foundation, low belly drawn in. From here, you're going to allow your sternum to rise towards your throat and your scapulas to slide down towards your back waist. The muscles, and let's find these muscles for a moment, of the scapulas, levatus scapula, so lift your scapulas all the way up to your ears and tell yourself this is a no. And then unlevatus scapula, slide the scapulas back down, and this is the yes. So if you're ever unsure of where the scapulas are, just bring them all the way to your ears and say no, and then release them back down. So the sternum going to the throat, this bony chest protection, the scapulas going towards the back waist, the low belly drawn in to support the low back, and the buttocks releasing intentionally so that you can feel that engagement. Maintain all of this and bring your arms straight out in front of you and bring them to straight right there. Reach your fingers away from your shoulders. Rebuild your Tadasana. Start at the feet. The low belly is in. The sternum rising, the scapula is lowering, the arms are straight. However high you can lift your arms without bending at the elbow is where we're going now. So as the scapulas are lowering down, the arms are slowly lifting up into a pose we call Urhva Hastasana, or upwards hands pose. When you get to here, let your mind go back to the feet. Find those 3 points on each foot. Find the engagement of your arches. Find that low belly, the release through the buttocks, the sternum rising, the scapulas lowering. Your palms are facing each other. And now your middle fingers are reaching up away from the outer edge of your ankles, and your low belly is still engaged. Now the breath has become a structural breath in the structure of the rib cage. It sort of inflates like the shape of a football, an ellipsoid. So you keep the low belly engaged, and you allow your inhale to fill the side ribs specifically. You allow your exhale to contract through those side ribs. Now from here, inhale, let your fingers reach as high as they can, scapulas down, and on the exhale, move to your right, just a little, but put more weight into your left foot. So you're reaching your fingers away from your hips. Your left foot is pressing as you're reaching to the right. Your hips are staying stationary. They're not coming with us just yet. Remember the structural breath. The low belly is in. The ellipsoid is happening through the rib cage, opening and then closing. Another in-breath here. And as you exhale, draw your arms straight back up again. And then let the arms come down. Take a quick break. Shake it out and let your mind go to your right side. Let your mind go to your left side. Do they feel different? All right, find your Tadasana, your primary standing posture. Inhale, arms up in front of you. Make sure they're nice and straight. Muscles are squeezed to the bones. This is good for the blood pressure. Inhale. As we exhale, let's lift those arms, pull that belly in, fingers reach away from feet, scapulas go down. Another in-breath here. And on the exhale, your arms now go to the left. And you put more weight into your right foot, keeping the hips stationary. The low belly is in. The buttocks are released. You're very secure through the pelvis. You're lifting at the pelvic floor, and you're allowing the breath to come into the rib cage, expanding the rib cage as you inhale, contracting the rib cage as you exhale. I think we've been here about the same amount of time, so let's inhale. On that exhale, bring your arms back up, and then release the posture. And take another moment and feel your sides. Now we're going to go deeper. So you've got Tadasana. Let's inhale, arms all the way up into Urhva Hastasana. Keep going, fingers reach away from feet. Let's find another in-breath. And on the exhale, move your arms to the right, to the right, to the right, yes. And take your right hand and grab your left wrist and gently stretch through that left side body. Make sure the pressure's still going into the left heel. Take a good long stretch. Allow your breath to go into those side ribs. Allow your breath to come back from those side ribs. Then release the tension of the stretch. Now let your hips move to the left and bring your arms even farther to the right. Hips are to the left, arms to the right. Get as big a side bend as you can. Beautiful. You're breathing, belly is engaged. Now turn your heart towards the ceiling and lift yourself up and straight and arms down. And take a moment, the third part of the pose, the soak and feel. And then other side. From Tadasana, we're going to go up into Urhva Hastasana. Upward hands pose. Find another inhale here. Really extend on that inhale. As you exhale, re-engage the belly and move to the left. Let your arms go to the left. Then take your left hand and grab your right wrist and pull and stretch through this right side, allowing your breath to really expand these side ribs, allowing your breath to really contract through those side ribs. Another inhale here. And then exhale and release that tension and reach the hands away. Now bring your hips to the right and let your arms go farther and farther to the left. Hips are to the right. You're going as far down as you can. You want to squeeze through that side body and breathe. You might be shaking. And inhale. Exhale, turn towards the ceiling. Look up, lift up. Bring yourself back forward. And then arms come down. And pause for just a moment. Very good on the side bends. Okay, let's please come to your back. And we're going to go ahead and have a happy baby to release the low back. If your low back is tender from this, the next time you try side bends, pull your low belly in even more. And just take a moment in the baby. You bring the knees into the belly. You grab hold of the outer edge of your feet. You let your feet come wide apart, trying to pull your knees down towards the mat. Let your tailbone reach towards the mat, and let your head and shoulders reach towards the mat. If your chin's way up in the air, that's okay. It just means tight inner shoulders. Over time, you'll start to find room through there, especially the more we work the shoulders, the more range of motion you get. All right, inhale here. And exhale, release the baby. Let's go ahead and do a bridge for our upside down posture today. Now, this is going to be a strength building pose. So that means it's very challenging. If you need to come in and out of bridge, you may. If you want to try to hold it the whole time, you may. It's your choice. So look down your right hip and see just your right heel. And then look down your left hip and see your left heel. Make a firm commitment with your feet to not move them. Press into your feet and slowly lift your hips up. Once your hips come up off the floor, you can tuck your right shoulder underneath you, and then you can tuck the left shoulder underneath you. And here is Setu Banda bridge. Again, this is very challenging, so if you're already starting to shake, breathe. See if you can last just one more breath, remembering that one breath has 4 parts. Inhale, that transition of retention, and then the exhale, that transition of suspension, that makes 1. If you need to lower the hips back down, take a breather, lift the hips back up when you're ready, or you can stay. Remembering that when we contract the body might start to shake, but this is good. This is an indication the muscle fibers are getting stronger. Their little on-offs are getting smoother eventually after a good Savasana. In a stretch, it's different. If you're stretching, you don't want to shake. You want to keep that very calm. But if you're engaging these muscles, a very yang or active practice, you want to stay until you shake, and that means you'll be just a little bit stronger for next time. Lifting the hips. Now in this posture, your chin aims at the ceiling, and you push with your feet and you lift with your mid-back, bringing that sternum, that bony chest protection, towards your throat. Not the other way around. It's not throat down, but it's sternum towards throat. Wherever the throat happens to be in space, the sternum aims its way towards it. If you need just a little bit more engagement with this posture, you can squeeze your knees together. Now, if you've got back issues, when you come out of this, I want you to come straight, flat down. If you don't have back issues, you can unroll yourself 1 little inch at a time. So let's bring the back down, whichever is appropriate for you today, and then pause for a moment. And just feel the soak, the third part of the pose. Okay, so now we're going to twist it out before coming into a Savasana. So press into your feet and lift your hips. While they're in the air, shift them to the right and lower them. Straighten your left leg. Bring your right knee into your chest. Good on the blankets. Pull the right knee, point the left toes. Pelvic floors are soft and they're shaped like a couple of figure eights, and they take an asymmetrical stretch. Inhale into your stretch and exhale that knee across the body, bringing the knee to the floor on the left, letting the right shoulder pop up, and then reaching the arm up and open, and turn your head to the right, looking down that right arm. It might be levitating, or your arm might all the way be to the floor. Every body is just a little bit different, but you still melt, whatever shape your body takes on. The stress you might feel in that axilla or armpit area is the stretching of your clavipectoral sheath. And when we open this up, we can take better breaths. Inhale here. As you exhale, draw your knee into your belly, roll to your back, feet on the mat, and square your hips. Once you're square, press into your feet, lift your hips. While they're in the air, shift them to the left and lower. Hips are offset to the left. Right leg straight. Draw your left knee in, pull that left knee and point the right toes so we can find the asymmetrical stretch across the other angle of the pelvic floor. Inhale here. And as you exhale, bring that knee across your body, putting the knee all the way over onto the floor on the right side, letting the left shoulder pop up. Take a stretch through that left side and then open that left arm to a T, palm up, and melt into this side of the posture. Allowing your feet and your face to relax, allowing your belly and your back to relax, maybe even getting a little adjustment here as your spine finds its level. Now, inhale here, and as you exhale, draw your knee into your belly and roll to your back. Feet on the mat and square your hips. Once you're square, we will be setting up for Savasana after this. So with Jesse, tuck your chin, Jesse, and then lay back. So just a little tuck to the chin. So his chin is a little bit high. I'm actually going to put a blanket underneath his head to try to get the chin and the forehead level. It just is telling me that Jesse's a little tight in the inner shoulders, but we've compensated with this blanket so that he can be flat. Then let's go ahead and let your legs go long for a moment. Feel how your low back feels. If it feels a little pinchy or something, we can elevate the legs. Since we really worked hard in the lower part of the torso, it's okay to take a roll of blankets and put it underneath your knees, the high side of your knees, and this will tip the pelvis just a little so that your low back can rest comfortably on the floor. Whether it's a tight low back or just the shape of your body, a lot of us need that particular lift at the knees to be comfortable on our backs. But a lot of you don't. You can also just go flat to the floor. Allow your toes to splay open. Allow your palms to face up. You've already given yourself a good tuck to the chin. Support your head if you need to. Don't close at the throat. Make sure you have a nice open area at that particular center of communication. Once you find your position, melt. Melting into the shape of this pose. Allowing your knees to soften, allowing your belly to soften. Release your chest. Your heart lifts and your shoulders lower, melting your shoulders down your arms, pretending that your palms feel like puddles. Swallow, releasing through your throat, letting the skin on your cheeks go slack. Allow your tongue to rest gently in the back of your mouth, releasing any conversation with yourself and instead tuning into observation of yourself. Observe as you allow your tongue to spread side to side. Soften your face. Bring your gaze inward. Be brave and release the grip of your brain, letting it rest gently in the back of your skull. Allow your skull to widen and spread on the blanket or the mat. Find your front body and in its entirety, let it melt into your back body. Allow your back body to then melt into the mat, into the floor, into the ground. In the final few long moments of this pose, just observe. Observe your breath as it moves through your body. Notice if it gets hung up, if it trembles, if it skips. Don't try to guide or control your breath right now. Just let it be in its natural rhythm and flow, whatever that is for you in this moment. Observe your body, noticing any areas of tension. If you find them, just let them go. Whether it's newly created tension or long held, release it, and you can guide your breath to that part of the body. And sometimes if you imagine that you're breathing through that tense part, it can release, so it can accept the rhythm of your breath. Observing your mind. Notice what thoughts keep popping up, and notice you letting go of those thoughts. And notice you bringing yourself back to your breath, back to your inhale and your exhale. Imagining that your breath moves so freely through your body, it's as if you could breathe with the palms of your hands. Imagining that your breath moves so freely through your body, it's as if you could breathe with the soles of your feet. Imagining that your whole body is saturated with your breath. You can take the sensations, the zhuzh that you might feel at your fingertips or your lips, and you can allow those sensations to move as deep into your body as your imagination can go. Then you can allow your mind to go into your bones and pull those sensations back out through the bone and through the tissue back out to the space outside of your skin. Tuning in for just another moment into the various vibrations of you. There's an old philosophy that says the feeling of, I can do that, can come from a future you who did it, who felt, I did it. And that feeling spills over into the ocean of time and space and laps up upon the shore of the current you, filling you with that feeling of, I can do that. All right. So gently begin to deepen your breathing, wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. Make circles with your wrists and your ankles, big wide circles one way and then the other. And then reach your arms up long and stretch your fingers away from your feet. Make space. Now from here, let your left hand grab your right wrist and give a nice gentle pull along that right side of your body, breathing deeply. And then release the tension. Let the right wrist grab the left hand. Give a gentle pull along this side of your body, bringing your breath there. And then release the tension. Take one more stretch. Stretch through your belly. You can point the toes. You can flex the feet. Inhale and exhale, release. All right. Bring your knees into your belly and roll to your right side. Make a pillow for your head with your right arm. Pause here while your body transitions and take this moment and thank yourself for your practice, enabling the gifts and the benefits to continue to penetrate to every level, including the deepest level. Inhale the exhale, use mostly the strength of your left arm to gently press yourself up. Now, come into any comfortable seated position that you'd like to. You can sit back on the blankets. You can have your legs straight, whatever you want to do. You can sit in a chair. Just come to a good seated posture. Find your center of gravity down in the low belly and press down with the hips, and then lift up with the crown of your head. And then bring your hands to your heart, back into the Anjali Mudra, the mudra for overcoming obstacles. Allowing your palms, thumbs, and fingers to gently press simultaneously. The shoulders are pulling away from each other. You'll feel your heart lift and open. And as you feel that lifting and opening, this time bow your head into the lifting and opening, and take this moment to honor the truth, the light, and the wisdom existing within every cell of your body. May you be peaceful. May you experience poise, equanimity, and abundance. May you be well. Namaste.